I'm Dave Mercer.
And I'm Matt Pangrac.
Welcome to The Cull, a weekly sport fishing debate show. And this week we're going to approach a topic that it floats up on every chat board in the world. The umbrella rig. Is it time to bring it back? The umbrella rig should return to tournaments. Panger, what say you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I think we've proven now since 2011 that it is not the end all be all. Fish should become conditioned to it. You're seeing tournaments, Toyota series events that allow umbrella rigs. Yes, there are still some that are run in certain times of the year on umbrella rigs, but it's not the end all be all like we thought it was or like it was when it originally came out. I would point to a number of other different tactics too that we can go into and say, hey, this tournament is most likely going to be won on a jerkbait. This tournament is most likely going to be won on a plug. And they are. So you can't just point to the ones that are won on an A rig and see, look how dominant the Alabama rig is without taking those other lures that you have. What are you going to make a drop shot illegal on Thousand Islands, Dave, because you know that 7 of the top 10 are going to be drop shotting? There would be an outcry of people if that was an umbrella rig going, look, you can't compete with it if it's an umbrella rig. But just because it's a drop shot, people aren't saying, well, 9 out of the top 10 guys fished a drop shot, so it should be illegal because it's boring to watch the guys fish a drop shot and it's easy because you just put it down there and the fish eat it. It's the exact same thing. We're just looking at it differently because of the vilification of the Alabama rig when it first came back. It's time to bring it back and implement it into the top level of tournament bass fishing.
Okay, I agree with you in a certain aspect, but the other aspect is you're just looking at face value at the Alabama rig. Like the Alabama rig, as we know, it should be brought back because you're right. You know, everybody thought it was going to be the only thing that caught fish in the future, and it was taken away. But the negative of that is what would happen to the Alabama rig. Like I feel that honestly, in time, the pros make everything bigger, better, and they push everything to the edge. I mean, forward-facing sonar, that's a big topic everybody talks about. I mean, it's not normal. You don't just need forward-facing sonar. You need a better power source. You need a better, all of this. Like everything is fine-tuned to minute details to be the best of the best. I think that the Alabama rig and the image that it shows, a giant chandelier-esque bait with hooks all over it, paints the wrong image for our sport. And I don't mean by anglers, people that understand it, because that's not the world we live in. Because there's, do a study where a fish landed on carpet affected the fish. Nobody's ever done that study. It doesn't affect the fish, but there is groups of people that see it, and if it looks barbaric, they say, I don't like it.
Dude, a super spook or a jerk bait with 3 sets of treble hooks and a 6-inch bait and 9 hook points doesn't look outlandish to someone who is judging the sports competition as opposed to a Alabama rig. There's 4 more hook points on a jerk bait than there are on an Alabama rig, especially then if you just make it easy. You could go Minnesota rig where you allow an umbrella rig, but you could only have 1 hook on it. You could go state rules. You could go 3 hooks. You could limit the number of wires. One of the things that I don't like is that the donkey rig, the double fluke rig, the front runner, all of these things that were used without question for decades prior to the Alabama rig are now no longer an option. It is now they're saying, hey, you can't put a swivel with a double fluke on it, or you can't run a front runner in front of it. Like, I don't understand why that all got lumped into the umbrellas. I'm not saying, hey, let's string 4 of them together like we're seeing, or have 12 arms. I'm just saying there's less hook points than there are on a jerk bait. And we've shown that it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, but you can't say that without expecting where it's going to go. I mean, you're giving.
That's why you put rules on it. You put restrictions on it.
But it's like telling people, hey, you can drive whatever speed you want to drive on this highway, and then just assuming, well, everyone will be safe. They're not going to be safe. They're going to connect speed limits. rigs to rigs.
You make that illegal. You make that part illegal. Just like you can't have a 300 horsepower motor.
But that's not the question. We didn't say the Alabama rig, as long as it has 1 hook, should be back. We're saying you're bringing it back, and it's all encompassing. And you're right. There is stuff that suffer because of that. But a rule, I mean, if anything's been proven in this sport, rules need to be cut and dry, black and white. The gray
Then make
is
it
what
cut and dry, black and white, so we can see a chandelier on the Elite Series and on the Invitationals and the BPT. But put restrictions on it. I like one hook. I really do. I didn't believe in that thing, and then I went up and fished in Minnesota, and it was like, hey, look, you can catch fish on one hook, and they're not swimming through it. Now you don't. Now you take out any. Now it's just like any other lure. Now you take out any side hooks or gill hooks or eye hooks or whatever.
Well, you know, the whole reason that rule became as weird as it became, and Trip Weldon, Hall of Fame tournament director, an amazing job he's done. But I will tell you, in his time, I watched when that was all going down, when the Alabama rig became illegal, the amount of pros that would come up to him at tournament meetings, at takeoffs, and pull him aside and say, well, what about this? And it was some version
Always
of
Steve
the
Kennedy.
Alabama rig. Well, it was always Steve was always one of them, but there was a lot of them that would try to, you know, hey, well, if that's illegal, can I do this? Can I do this? And that's their job, to find out the advantages. And I think that I don't know that we miss it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the worst thing in the world, and I'm not even totally sold on the fact that it should have been illegal to begin with, but I just don't think that it's missing. You know, I never tune into a tournament. I'm like, I really wish I could see what they were doing here if they had an Alabama rig.
Oh, I fished a lot of tournaments in the opens over the last 2 years where I was like, this would be a great tool that in any other tournament would be in my arsenal. But for some reason at this Bassmaster Open is not.
As a competitor, though, you're thinking of it. See, I'm looking at it from people looking in. You know, yes, as a competitor, I'm sure there's times that's the problem with that
on
freaking
Bassmaster
rig.
Live.
This
is what you're telling me, Dave. You're telling me on Bassmaster Live, you think that the fans of the sport would rather see Angler X not catch a fish than Angler X catch a 7-pounder on an umbrella rig. That would be more. And that's what you just said.
That's ridiculous.
That's literally what you just said.
You're going to extremes.
Listen to it. No, I'm not. That's what you're saying.
What I said is I don't think it's missing. I don't think it's missing. I don't think there's no part where I'm like, we need the Alabama rig. And I think that it brings more negative to the sport than positive, I guess. I mean,
it's an antiquated rule that needs to be updated. Not a free for all, just updated.
Okay.
I'm keeping it. Sounds like you're calling it.
I'm calling it, but I'm open to discussion. Let's just say that.
Oh, that's fair enough. I'll meet you in the middle there.
All right. In 2023, we're going to be very mature. You let us know what you guys think. Keep our Cull, the Alabama rig, in tournaments. Oh boy, we're going to hear all sorts of stuff about forward-facing sonar now. How can that be legal if this isn't?
It has nothing to do with it. They're mutually exclusive.
It will in the comments. Comments.
Apparently half the people, you don't even need electronics. You just need a rowboat and an A-rig and you got 30 pounds. So